Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and good afternoon all.
Waalaikumsalam sir.
Okay, welcome to all of you for our first session, for our first class for programming for engineers. Okay, so my name is Sir Wan. You can call me Sir Wan lah. Okay, so I'll be your lecturer for this subject this semester, where I'll be uh, teaching this programming for engineers for you for 14 weeks lah. Okay, so you are 14 weeks student lah. The September intakes. Okay, so first of all, I would like to tell you that I have already uploaded some of the notes and our course learning plan in the our VLE lah for our subject. Can you see my screen? I've shared my screen here. Boleh nampak tak screen saya?
Yes,
Nampak sir, nampak.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Boleh sir.
So if you go through your
Boleh, sir.
VLE under the subject of programming for engineers, 24503. So I have already set up the VLE for our class lah. So there will be 7 options here, but only 2 has already uploaded with the related materials lah. Okay, so the CLP is here, which is the course learning plan. So for course learning plan is actually the details about this program lah. Okay. What you can find here is the type of assessments which is included for the subject. Okay, you have 4 assessments, and then topics included, which is as listed here for C programming as well as for Python programming. Okay, so this is our weekly plan for first week up until our final weeks. So you may find it here. As for the details of this subject, and then I also have already uploaded the notes up until lecture 5, which is about array. Okay, so lecture 1 until lecture 5 here, so you may download for your perusal lah untuk reference. Okay, either you want to keep it in your personal laptops or you want to print it out, so that is up to you lah. Okay, so you may download it from here and then you can use them as your reference. Okay, so as an introduction, programming for engineers 25403 is learning about C programming and Python programming. Okay, so this is my name, my phone number. I have already created your our group WhatsApp group for our course lah. So I'm hoping that everybody is in there. If not, then I will share with you what we call it. I'll share with you the link for you to I will share with you the links for you to join. Okay, so a moment. Copy link. Okay, so I'll share it here on the conversation part, so you may, those who hasn't joined the group yet lah, so please click on this link and join the group. Okay, alright, so for this subject we have to know what is the CLO lah, what is the course learning outcome. So what is CLO is basically the expected output to be with you lah, apa yang you dapat bila you habis belajar subjek. Okay, so upon completion of this course, students should be able to have 3 outcome. Okay, the first one is the ability to discover the use of control structure for sequential selection and iteration in the programming language. And then second one, to perform software debugging procedures using appropriate techniques to solve programming problems. And then the last one, to organize a small-scale commercial software applications and documentation. Okay, so expected students should be able to do this thing lah after we complete uh, the whole topics and then assessments which are included. Okay, so the course outline is introduction to C programming, method and tools, simple data type, control structure for selection and repetition, structured data type of array function, and then that is for C program. And then starting here, you'll be introduced into the Python programming and the Python programming structure. Okay, so assessment, you'll be having 4 assessments, so there will be no final exam lah. So programming, we have no final exam, means that you tak perlu duduk untuk menjawab soalan final. There are only quizzes and practical tests as well as your mini project. Okay, so quiz 1, quiz 2 and practical test will provide 60% of your total marks, and your mini project is 40%. So as you can see here, mini project is the what we call it as the main assessment lah, sebab dia markah paling tinggi sekali. Okay, so our class session, we have 2 sessions. Today is from 3 to 5, and then for tomorrow it is 8 to 10. Okay, so it will be a short gap classes lah, sebabnya kita kelas hari ni last sampai pukul 5, dan tomorrow pukul 8 kita sambung balik. So you'll be having a very short gap lah sebenarnya. Okay, but nak buat macam mana, diorang dah arrange macam tu, so we just follow the timetable. Course rules and regulations, so this is normal for all of your classes. You are expected to be punctual, attending the class time, and then bring your ID. This is if when we started our class face-to-face again lah, okay, when the MCO has already been lifted, no more MCOs for us, then you can come to the class, you can come to BNI, and then can join the class in the classrooms, labs and everything. Then these are the rules applied lah, okay. Okay, number 3 as well, you have to follow the student code of conduct. Assignment, labs, homeworks need to be completed on time. Late submission will not be entertained. And then plagiarism is not allowed. Penalty will be given. Okay, plagiarism ni meniru lah. In terms of all types of meniru. Okay, meniru kerja kawan, or you are getting solutions from elsewhere but you forgot to recite them. Okay, kalau you ambil anything from the contohnya from internet, so make sure you referencekan dia lah. Okay, quotation samalah ni, quotation must be referred properly. Kalau you dapat daripada buku, then list it down. Which books did you get the equation from, for example. And then breakboard ni untuk kita, kalau kita buat lab lah. Untuk obviously for the subject there is no lab. Okay. So that as an introduction of our course lah, our subject, and introduction of me. And then we go on the first topic, which is called as the introduction to C programming. Okay. So we are using IDE of C and C++, but we are using C lah, okay. C and C++ is not much different sebenarnya, dia beza sikit saja, but C is basically the basic of programming. So if you understand C, then it will be very easy for you to understand all other types of programming. Okay, so IDE, what is IDE? IDE is an integrated development environment, also known as the software environment, which used to write the program, other programs using tools like an editor or compiler. So this can prove to be an extremely useful tool when coding uses various languages for many reasons. So examples of IDEs including Eclipse, Visual Studios and NetBeans. Okay, so itu contoh-contoh software IDE yang ada lah available. Okay, so this is an example how you recite your references macam ni kan. And all quotation must be referred. So ni saya dapat daripada software, daripada website ni. Okay, about what is IDE. So source daripada mana lah. So IDE in the computer, so you have your computer system with your hardware and your software. So it is normally you can find your IDE in your software lah. So computer is defined as a device which is capable of performing computations and making logical decisions. Apa dia? By a computer. Okay. So it processes data under the control of sets instructions called computer programs, and hardware is defined as various devices comprising a computer, for example your keyboard, mouse, speakers, monitors and everything. Software is a collection of programs which are used by the computer. Okay, so you may find your IDE on your software lah. Okay, senang cerita IDE ni normally compiler software yang kita pakai lah untuk kita develop anything, right? System development method. So this methodologies is a method of improving the management and control of the software development process, structuring and simplifying the process, and standardizing the development process and product by specifying activities to be done and techniques to be used. Okay, so senang for you, for better understanding, you look into this diagram here lah. Okay, first you have to know what are the requirements, okay, of the design. Apa yang you nak develop tu, you have to know the requirements. Okay, once you know the requirements, you may start the design. And then once you have done with the design, you'll do the implementation. So implementation ni kita boleh start guna dekat dalam kita punya compiler lah, kita punya software. And then we look for verification. Does your anything that you are developing has met the requirement that you have supposed to do. Okay. So you verify, analyze balik, dapat tak apa yang you buat tadi, dapat tak apa requirement yang dia nak, something like that lah. Okay, alright, and then you do some maintenance lah in case if you haven't met the requirements, or you want to baik pulih ke, nak memperbaiki ke. Okay, so you do the maintenance here lah. So this is the system development method. The methodologies required to go through these processes lah. So sama juga bila kita design, develop any programs, any programming, so you need to go through these steps as well. Okay. Once the program has been written down in a programming language, it has to be submitted to the computer in some way, compiled into that computer's machine language and then executed. So on the way, things may go wrong and steps may need to be repeated. So this is all summed up in the following diagram. Okay. Right, so this is you type in your programs, the developed programming that you have done, yang you dah buat pada bahagian design ni tadi, and then debug, put it in your computers and then debug tu means you ni lah, check for errors and anything lah, and then you compile from the compiler. Kalau ada error, dia akan list all the compilation errors and then you amend balik lah, whatever the errors has been stated here, you betulkan balik, amend balik. If the compiler is okay, no problem, and then you run time system and then obtain your result and execution error lah. Okay, and then you check back. Okay, so that is the life cycle of program. So it will go through this cycle lah. Alright. So basically dia still berpandukan kepada system development methodologies ni. Okay, so the programmer takes his sheet of paper to a computer keyboard and types in the program, which is known as source, is sent to the compiler with checks of grammar of syntax. If anything is wrong, a list of compilation errors will be produced. So tu dekat sini lah. Okay, kalau ada salah. The errors must be attended to by changing the programs, and then the source is resubmitted to the compiler. So this process continues until there are no more errors. So pusinglah dekat sini. Okay, sehingga until when you compile, no error messages are shown on your compiler. Dah tak ada kesalahan. The program then can be run, which is done by a runtime system and will produce result, and it may also produce execution error. Okay. So if the program is not executing correctly, then the necessary changes must be made and the process begin again. Okay, so yang itu dekat sini lah. Okay, obtain your result. Kalau dapat, okay. Tak dapat, then you check balik apa tu punya kesalahan. The error must be attended to by changing the program, and then the source is resubmitted to the compiler. So this process continues until there are no more errors. Okay, so kalau kita tengok ni dia keep on pusing dalam tu lah, sehingga you dapat you punya required output. Means that you are satisfying the requirements dekat sini, then you are good to go. Means that you have completed you punya program life cycle. Okay, so that is basically the methodologies lah. Okay, it is good for you to follow the methodologies because this will help you in determining the any problems that you are about to face when you develop any C programming language later on. Okay, then we move on to methods and tools. So first one, we have to look into the types of error and what are the solutions that you can apply. Okay, when you create your programs, your C programming language, and then when you compile them and you found this type of errors, so you have to know what are these errors caused by, disebabkan oleh apa, and then what is the solution, how to overcome them. Okay, so there are three types of errors. So the first one is the C runtime error, which occur during the execution of a C program and generally occur due to some illegal operation performed in the program. Okay, so example dia, if you are dividing a number by 0, okay, say you buat X equivalent to 200 divide to 0, so runtime errors ni akan berlaku. Or you are trying to open a file which is not created, you haven't create any file but you are opening them, so dia akan jadi error as well. And if you have lack of free memory space, okay, so these errors may stop the program execution. So you takkan dapat dia punya program punya output lah. Number two, known as compile error. We have to know about this type of error so that bila you start compiling later on, when you face with any of this type of errors, then you tahu macam mana nak overcome dia, how to overcome this problem, how to how to tackle the problems, then make sure that your programs are okay. Alright, so this type of error can occur at the time of compilation of the program. So for compile error, you have A, B. Okay, there are two types, which is the syntax error, when the rules of the C program language are not followed. So the compiler will show syntax errors. For example, consider the statement int a and b and then double dot here. The above statement will produce syntax error as the statement is terminated with a double dots rather than semicolon, because we are using, for programming languages, we are using a lot of semicolons. Okay, contohnya macam ni lah. Sepatutnya belakang ni semicolon, but you terletak double dot. So dia akan jadi syntax error. So just change them lah. Semantic errors reported by the compiler when the statements written in the C program are not meaningful to the compiler. For example, consider a statement of B plus C equivalent to A. So for this above statement, we are trying to assign value of A in the value obtained by summating B and C, which has no meaning in C. Okay, supposedly, how do you correct this statement is by doing it like this lah, where A equivalent to B plus C. Okay, so the values that you are about to enter sepatutnya berada di sebelah kiri. Contohnya macam inilah, A, dia patutnya ada di belah kiri. Then equivalent to B plus C. You cannot do B plus C equivalent to A. This will produce semantic errors. Okay, and then the last type of error is known as logical error, where this type of error in the output, this is the type of error which you can find at the output of your program. The presence of logical errors lead to undesired or incorrect output and are caused due to error in the logic applied in the program to produce the desired output. Okay, normally logical errors could not be detected by the compiler, and thus programmers has to check the entire coding of a C program line by line. Okay, so this type of error dia leceh sikit lah. Normally, if I have this type of error, I will redo everything again. Okay, sebab nak cari dia balik. Kalau if your program is a simple program, 5 to 6 lines, then it is okay. But if your program is about 50 or 60 lines, then it will consume time. Rather than looking for this the error, it's better for you to just redo them. Okay. Kadang-kadang tu memang kita tak nampak benda dia. The compiler also cannot detect. While we compile, the compiler tell us there is no problem, no errors at all. But when you execute the output to obtain the output is wrong. So you have to check them by yourself. That is the only solution that you can do. Okay, so you have logical error, compilation error, and C runtime errors. 3 errors that you have to know. Okay, you will find this type of errors a lot later on. Okay, the test documentation and manual. So the test documentation includes the test plan, method, and result. So this test result will be attached in the system manual. Okay, this is on the compiler lah, on the software lah, right? The test done accordingly to the according to the two criteria. We have black box and the white box criteria. So the black box criteria set requirements for a test set based upon external characteristics. So a typical box criterion is correct performance on a specified number of randomly chosen data points. Okay, so that is for black box. For white box is set requirements for a test set based upon coverage of internal components or elements associated with the software. So the most common white box criteria are structural coverage and fault coverage. Okay, so yang ni you don't have to worry about them pula lah, because this is just an information for you about our test documentation and manual. Once we compile, the software tu dia akan buat benda ni lah. Okay. Alright, the commercialization of programming languages. So types of programming languages, we have machine languages, assembly languages, and high-level languages. Machine languages made up of binary coded instruction. Example dia macam ni. Assembly language translate into machine codes by assembler, load, base pay, okay, store, gross pay, macam tu lah. High level language, tak tahu kenapa dia macam silap. Translated into machine codes by compiler. Saya buka yang this one, I think better lah. So, sama je. Automatic high level. Okay. Okay, so for high level language, translate into machine codes by compiler. So gross pay equal to base pay plus overtime pay. So we are at the high level language lah. Okay, for C programming. Okay, macam assembly language ni more kepada micro P, everything. Mostly you learn them masa diploma kot saya rasa. Saya pun tak ingat lah. Masa saya belajar dulu, load, add, store ni saya pakai masa diploma. So introduction to C programming, this one please read this by yourself lah. Okay, I don't think this is necessary. This will be included into any of your assessment. So key advantages of learning C programming. The first one, it is very easy to learn, and then it is a very structured language. Means that if it is structured, then it will be very neat, and it is when it is neat, then it is easy for you to understand the whole concept of C programming. It produces efficient programs and can handle low-level activities as well. And then it can be compiled on a variety of computer platforms. You can use lots of free software, okay, yang available dekat dalam internet. You may download to your personal laptops and then you can run C programs instead of, kalau contoh ada programming, for example FPGAs or anything, you need to buy the programs, the software, which will cost you a lot lah. Okay. So how to write the C programming? The software that I would recommend for you to use is the Dev C++. Okay, so please download this this version I've shared here lah, yang saya share ni, iaitu Dev C++ 5.11 TDM 5.92. So later on you copy on this link, paste it on your search engine dekat Google, Mozilla, whatever that you are using lah, and then download it from here. Okay, this one is an online compiler which you can compile online, tak perlu download, but I wouldn't recommend this lah, unless if you have problems with your Dev CC, you nak try dekat tempat lain sekejap, you will try them here. But please everyone download this software, Dev C++, because this is, I think this is the one of the best C compiler software which are available for free for everyone's usage lah. Siapa nak pakai pun boleh. Okay, so go and download this version 5.11 Jangan download version yang lain. Version yang lain nanti dia ada problem, you tak boleh nak compile. Okay, so this is the interface of the software, Dev C++. Okay, so you'll be typing all your codings dekat part ini nantilah. So how do you do it? Go to file, click on new source file, Then type down your programs here, codings here. And then click run, then you will obtain the output window here. The black one here is the output window. Okay. So the most important button that you'll be using lah, okay, yang ada dekat taskbar ni ataupun dekat you punya dekat taskbar punya option ni lah. Okay, the first one is to compile, which is here. Okay, you can find it on the second row of your taskbar, ataupun tengoklah kadang tu kalau if your monitor is white, then dia akan jadi dekat first row je. Okay, so this is the compile button, or you can find it on the execute and then compile dekat sini. And then to run is the second one, this one. To obtain the output, click on the white one. So that is for runkan dia punya program tu lah. Compile and run, compile, run, compile, run. So automatic bila you compile, it will check for errors and then run to obtain the output yang hitam ni tadilah. So that is for our first lecture lah. Okay, so for the installation, I will allow you to install it later. I think it is best for us to continue first our next topic lah, which is lecture 2. Okay, so we will go through into the second topics, basically the what we call it, not introduction anymore. Introduction we have done it just now, so this is more into a introduction of the basic part of the C programming language. Okay, benda-benda asas yang you kena tahu before you can start typing your programs. Okay, so it is known as simple data type. Okay. So this is our basic structure of a C program. So the first blue box here known as the preprocessor directives. The second blue box here, this is where your body is. The program will be executed here. So this is the basically the block diagram. This is how you write them lah. So the preprocessor directives and then your main body, integer main, open curly bracket, whatever statements that you going to do, and then close curly bracket, stating that the main program has stopped. This is main program start, this is main program stop. Okay, so header file, we have to know what is header file is. Header file normally ada dekat bahagian preprocessor directives. So header file provide information to the C compiler about the inputs and results produced by each function in the libraries, usually accessed by the hashtag include directives. Okay, so every time you want to design or develop any C programming language nanti, you'll be needing to use this header file punya syntax ni. Okay, but never mind, nanti baru kita tengoklah macam mana nak buat dia. Now saya terangkan dulu apa guna dia. Okay, ni kita nak provide information to the C compiler of the whatever that we are going to do. Apa file yang kita nak pakai, yang kita nak load. Dan preprocessor directives occurs before a program is compiled, which is atas ni lah, sebelum program bawah ni, dekat atas ni. Tells the computer to load contents of a certain file and begin with hashtag. Okay, include ni tadi lah. It is considered as not a C statement, so it does not end with semicolon. It processes fully before compilation begins. Okay, so normally dekat preprocessor directives ni termasuk header file ni lah. Okay, so header file ni juga dikenali sebagai preprocessor direct. Okay, three major capabilities of the preprocessor to make your programs modular or more readable and easier to customize. Okay, the first one is to use the #include to insert the content of a file into your program. So with this, you can place common declarations in one location and use them in all source files through file inclusion. So the result is a reduced risk of mismatches between declarations of variables and functions in separate program modules. So if the file is enclosed in angle brackets, which is this left and right arrow, used for standard header file. Examples, #include angle bracket stdio.h. So this is for standard header file. Kita mulakan std is standard, I is input, O is output. So stdio. Okay, so include stdio.h means that we are including the header file of standard input output to our programs. So you will be using this a lot. Okay, include stdio.h, not studio. Okay, stdio. Sometimes student dia tersilap typo, dia terletak U dekat tengah-tengah ni jadi studio, dan dia akan jadi error. The second one is the #define. So defines macros that enable you to replace one string with another. You can use it to give meaningful names to numeric constants, thus improving constants and then improving the readability of your source files. Example, you are defining a variable of pi. So define pi equivalent to 3.149. Okay. Kita nak bagi dia nilai lah. Okay. So pi sama dengan 3.149. So you kena letak #define. Define the variable. What is the variable value? Okay. Okay, by name itself pun define means that kita bagi dia definition. Okay, so the definition of pi is 3.149. So that is an example. Okay. Then the third one is the with directive such as #if, #if_def, else, and if. Okay, there are a lot of these things that you will be using. You can compile only selected portion of your program. You can use this feature to write source files with code for 2 or more systems, but compile only those parts that apply to the computer system on which you compile the program. So with this strategy, you can maintain multiple versions of programs using a single set of source file. Okay, so yang nombor 3 ni, saya rasa lah kalau tak silap saya kita jarang pakai, so you don't have to worry about it too much lah. Okay, yang normally we use is the first one, include, and then sometimes we are using the define as well as our preprocessor. And then we move on to the next part, which is the main body, which is here, the second blue, or here, integer main ni. So the syntax is main, open and close bracket. So every program must have a main function and it is a first function that will be called. So dia adalah main body ni adalah kita punya main function dan dia merupakan function yang paling utama sekali dekat dalam program dia. So the main function is one to which control its passes when the program is executed. The execution of the program begins at function main. Okay, so this is everything that you will be designing will be enclosed in here lah, dekat dalam main ni tadi. Okay, and then we have this open and close curly brackets known as braces or curly brackets. So for this bracket is the statements of the function are enclosed in this curly bracket. The opening curly brackets indicates that a block of statement is about to begin. The closing curly bracket terminates the block of this statement. Okay, so I've showed you just now. This is where the statement starts. This is where the statements end for this main program. Okay. Example here. Okay, so This is an example of printing hello world lah. So this first line here is a comment statement where the comment statement will be ignored by the compiler. Compiler tak akan buat apa-apa terhadap example ni. Just sekadar nak bagi tahu this is an example. So hashtag include stdio.h. So this is your standard library input output header file, right? Your preprocessor directives. Main, this is your main body, and the program begins. So this is the segment start. This is where the segment end. This is what you'll be, the statement that you are about to do, which is to print hello world. Okay, function of printing text. And this one is to exit the function, means that to return 0, means that you want to clear the programs. Okay, so don't worry, kita belum buat lagi benda ni. I just want you to know this is what, that's all. Kita nak tahu. So this part here known as preprocessor directives. This is your main body. Okay. So explanation here, the comment statement, which is yang atas ni, example ni, used to describe program. Text surrounded by / star and star / or after double / will be ignored by the computer. Okay. Inilah. If you are writing comments which are it depends on number of lines juga lah sebenarnya. Macam ni you boleh buat panjang. You can write a whole paragraph of instruction or of information what you are about to do. Okay, make sure that everything is between the star. Okay, apa-apa sahaja huruf yang ada di antara bintang 2 ni dia akan jadi komen. So 10 sampai 10 baris pun yes, it is okay, no problem. Dia tetap akan jadi komen. Dia tak akan jadi C programs. Or if you want to make a simple one line comment, then you may use the double / Okay, so you write down, for example, your name is Izwan Arif Abdul Malik, and then once you entered, then the next line won't be a comment anymore. Dia akan jadi programs ataupun apa-apa yang you nak buat lah. If you want to make it as comment, then you letak lagi double / ni. And remember, whatever between these 2 stars or after this, a line of after these 2 / ni will be ignored by computer. Computer akan buat tak tahu. Computer takkan compile. Computer will not execute them to obtain output. No, tak ada. Dia akan macam tu je lah. Dia just information. Normally we use this comment statement, for example, to put our name on top of our programs. Katakan you jawab practical test. Okay, so you want to put your name on your program. So use these features of comment statement to enter your name then. Okay. And then to include stdio.h, this is the preprocessor directives, the header file, where it tells the computer to load contents of a certain file, which is the standard input-output header file. Allows standard input and output operation. So we'll be using a lot of these preprocessor directives. Header file ni kita memang pakai. Main, open and close bracket is the C programs contain one or more functions, exactly one of which must be main. So you may be having more than one main, but only one will becomes the main, which will be controlling the whole process, the whole program. Okay, if you have 4 mains, one will be your main program, the other 3 will become function. Okay. That one you will learn during your modularization topic lah, last topics of C program. Parenthesis, the open and close bracket used to indicate a function. Open for start of the program loop. Okay, and then print hello world is the console output to instruct the computer to print on the screen the string of characters contained between the quotation marks. Whatever strings, huruf-huruf yang ada ayat yang ada di antara dua pembuka dan penutup kata ni. Dia akan printkan benda tu. Okay. Hello world, this entire line called a statement. All statement must end with a semicolon. So you can find that semicolon there. Okay, sama dia tadi saya lupa nak beritahu. Okay, here you got semicolon and return 0 semicolon. For main and for your preprocessor directives, it is not a C program. Okay, so there are no semicolon. The \n is a new line character and escape sequence. We will look into this later on. Return 0 is a way to exit a function. So in this case, the program terminates normally. Close curly bracket indicates the end of the program loop.
Sir.
Okay. Yes, yes.
Kenapa yang dekat hello world tu dia ada kat kan
N
hello
ni. Yang
apa
ini.
Maksud dia, sir?
Ni dekat sini saya ada letak \n is for new line character and escape sequence. So this is a way for you to make sure that you are making spaces for hello world. For the next things to be done is to be done under it. Maksudnya macam you tekan enter. Okay, you type dekat dalam Word kan. You type dekat dalam Word your name and then you want to put down your ID number, but you want to put it down, you want to put it a line after your name. Okay, macam you tekan enter dekat you punya keyboard, you tekan enter dia akan turun bawah. So \n tu dia punya function macam tu lah. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Alright, we will go through later on. There are many more escape sequence that we'll be using lah. \n is one of the most escape sequence that we'll be using. Okay, nanti bila you dah start buat program, you akan nampak the usage of this \n. But obviously \n ni dia takkan, bila you execute dia takkan keluar hello world \n, tak ada. Dia hanya akan keluar hello world because \n ni adalah escape sequence, dia takkan keluar. It is an instruction for the compiler to go to the next line. Itu je. Okay. Right. Formatted input and output. So standard input file is reads formatted data from the keyboard, the one that you'll be entering your programs or whatever the question asking you, prompting you. So you kena masukkan menggunakan keyboard. Okay. Standard output file writes formatted data into the monitor. So the output yang you dapat adalah dia akan keluar dekat monitor, the one that you obtain on your laptops or computer monitor. Okay. So for standard input file, the one that you will be obtaining from your keyboard, okay, the formatted input called as scanf. Okay, and then the one that you'll be able to see on your on your monitor known as your formatted output, which is using the syntax of printf. Okay, so from the keyboard, whatever data that you are entering, it will scan and then it will store in your computer memory, and then whatever what we call it, action that the program is supposed to do, apa sahaja yang dia kena buat, everything will be done here. Once all the action is done, then dia akan printf dan keluarkan dekat kita punya monitor. So that is how the flow of these C programs lah. Okay, we look into the formatted output first, bukan formatted input. Okay, so we look into this part here, printf first. Scanf kita tengok later on. So standard formatted output function in C is known as printf. Okay, so print formatted. Okay, so it will print formatted output to the screen. So example here, to print a message, you write print open bracket and then what we call this, apa nama dia ni tadi, quotation marks. Okay, so open quotation marks, this is a message, \n, and then close quotation mark, close bracket, semicolon. Okay, so whatever in the between of these quotation marks will be printed out lah. Example here include stdio.h. So this is your preprocessor directives, your header file. This is your main body, integer main, printf, welcome to C, return 0, close bracket. So open bracket, close bracket means that this is where your statement start, this is where your statement stop. So this is the whole program. Once you compile, execute, the output will become this one. Welcome to C. Apa yang ada dekat tengah-tengah ni lah. So by using this formatted output punya syntax printf. Okay. For formatted input, which is scanf, is standard formatted input function in C is scanf, which is known as scan formatted. So it will scan formatted input from the keyboard. It uses the same format specifiers as printf. Sama saja. Format specifier dia guna yang sama. Example, scanf open quotation okay. Open bracket, open quotation mark, %C, close quotation mark, comma, and some underscore characters, close bracket, semicolon. Okay, so ini contoh lah. Okay, so this is the format specifier of character. This is where dia akan storekan apa yang you masukkan tadi. Whatever you entered here, dia scan, dia store dekat dalam ni. Okay, so don't worry about them lah. Itu nanti bila kita buat nanti, once we start our programs regarding the scanf punya process, then baru you faham macam mana nak baca ni. Okay, so, and then here stating that always put a space between the open quotation marks and the percentage when reading characters. So here lah, letak satu space. Okay. Alright, so that is formatted output and formatted input, printf and scanf. Example for formatted input here. Okay. Okay, so this is what I'm telling you about the comment just now. Okay, the rin writings here is yang warna hijau ni adalah comment dia lah. So means that line 1 and line 2 will not be compiled by the software. Software akan ignore. Same goes to all these greens here. Okay. So preprocessor directives, including the header file of stdio.h. This is your whole things here is known as your main program. Okay, declaration of variable, integer 1, integer 2, and sum. Printf, enter first integer, scan forward to integer 1. Printf, enter second integer, scan forward to integer 2. And then operation here, sum equivalent to integer 1 plus integer 2, and then print sum is number total that you have entered just now, and then return 0 to indicate that program ended successfully. Okay, so printf is the prompting the user to enter any integer that he likes. This is to read an integer, number 10 and number 12. So apa-apa nombor yang you masukkan dekat keyboard, dia akan detect dekat line 10 dan 12. Line 13 will do some mathematical operation. Line 14 will display whatever numbers you obtain at line 13. Okay, so this is the output. This is the program. This is the output. So enter first integer. Okay, so \n is here. So dia akan turun ke bawah 45. Okay. Enter second integer, it will goes down as well sebab ada \n here. So 72. Then sum is 45 plus 72, which is 117. So this is an example lah. Okay. So don't worry, ini saya just tunjuk saja dulu. Memang you tak faham lagi line-line dia tu. We will go into each lines of these programs once we started our what we call it, our development of programming dekat dalam software nantilah. Okay. Backslash character constants. So the control characters always begin with the backslash and is followed by one or more special characters. So this is known as the escape sequence. Backslash n tadi is the description is for new line. So yang tadi you tanya saya kan, so backslash n tu apa? Macam ni, backslash n tu hello world, backslash n tu apa? So dia adalah untuk new line. So contoh tadi, enter first integer. If this backslash n is here, then the number you will be entering from your keyboard will be down here. Dia akan tulis dekat bawah. If you remove this backslash n, the number that you'll be entering through your keyboards will be here. Itu beza dia lah untuk backslash n. Backslash t is for horizontal tab, means that it is also creating spaces, but in terms of your horizontal, maksudnya secara melintang. Okay, so what happens? For example here, if you enter first integer backslash t, and then dia akan ada enter first integer, dia akan ada satu space kosong, baru dia akan keluar nombor dekat sini. Okay, so sama seperti kita tekan tab lah dekat kita punya keyboard tu, you tekan key tab tu. So kita akan tab dia sikit. So nama dia pun horizontal tab. So samalah tu untuk kita jarakkan dia lah. Jarak dari segi horizontal. Kalau backslash n tadi untuk vertical, untuk atas ke bawah. Okay, horizontal ni dari kiri ke kanan. Backslash a is for alert sound the system bell. Double forward slash is the backslash character. Okay, if you want to print out this symbol, you have to make sure you letak dia 2. Letak 2, baru dia keluar 1. Single quotation mark backslash n quotation, baru you dapat 1, dia keluar macam ni. Kalau nak 2, so single backslash double quotation, so you dapat dia keluar 2 macam ni. You cannot simply just put the double quotation macam ni, dia tak akan keluar nanti. You kena letak backslash ni lah. Okay, but I can assure you the most that you will be using is this n sahaja. T ni pun kadang-kadang pakai, the rest ni kurang lah kita pakai, jarang. Okay. So the one that you have to really know is n and t sahajalah. Okay, so we have an exercise here, a simple program. Okay. I have a tutorial as well. Okay, I don't think we will be doing the exercise and tutorial yet lah today. I will skip slide 17 until 20. Kita akan start buat this 17 until 20 tomorrow. So I'll skip directly to slide number 21 to develop an algorithm. Okay, so this is one of the most important part for you to design any programming languages lah. You have to develop the algorithm. Okay, because why? By developing an algorithm, it will help you to smoothen your process of designing your programs. So first of all, we look into the algorithm itself. What is algorithm? Algorithm is a set of precise instructions specifying how to carry out a specific task. Okay, so basically it is a not really step, it is actually the way how you want the programs to be developed. Okay, so you have to create the algorithm. Okay, dia punya algoritma dia lah, macam mana you nak dia terjadi, how the program will start and how the programs will end. Okay, to develop an algorithm, you have to go through some of these steps to make sure that the algorithm will be designed correctly. The first one, you have to understand the problem. What is the problem? What does the question require? Okay, the requirement of the question, apa yang you nak kena create sebenarnya. And then you devise a plan, you plan it on the paper, on a piece of paper, you plan. Okay, start. What do you do with the start? After start, what do you do? Do you have to obtain any input to prompt any users of entering input from the keyboard or anything? So you devise any process included. Ada penambahan nombor, penolakan nombor, okay? Ada printing out, ada scan F atau tak, right? And then carry out the plan, design it into your compiler, into the software, dapatkan, try buat, and then review. Does the requirement achieve? Dapat tak? Okay, tak dapat, then you kena buat balik lah. That is how you do it. So to develop algorithm for programming can be represented by using two types of algorithm developing punya method. First one is using the flowchart, second one is using pseudocode. Okay, first of all, we look into the flowchart. Okay, so the flowchart symbols, we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, lebih kurang 8 symbols. But normally that will be using, selalunya kita akan pakai up until 6 or 5 saja. 6 ni pun kadang-kadang je lah kita pakai. 7 is for additional information. Macam komen lah, nak masuk komen then you pakai ni. Predefined ni kita jarang pakai, so don't worry about them. So you have to know about this oval, rectangular, trapezium and this diamond symbol first lah, on how to use them. Okay, so the oval one known as the terminal symbol represent the beginning and the end point of interaction or delay in the program. So start dengan end, we will be using this symbol. Okay, the rectangular symbol here is for process symbol. They represent the process of executing a defined operation. Okay, so anything that includes process of your intended programs, so you pakai block yang ini. This trapezium symbol is the I/O symbol, input and output, represent input or output function for data processing. Contohnya, please enter first integer, so you obtain it from here. Okay, this diamond here, known as the decision symbol, represent a decision and determine which path to follow. Means that dekat sini kita akan buat normally decision lah. For example, is it a positive number? Okay, kalau positive number, go to yes. If it is no, then go to no. Macam itulah. This is the flow line symbol. Whatever this arrow symbol is used for determining the flow of your flow chart. Dia ke mana? Alright, sama ada dia turun ke bawah, dia loop balik ke atas, ataupun dia whatever direction that the block will go lah. Connector, if you are designing a very large programs, very large project or anything which requires you to design more than one pages of your flow chart. So nak sambung connector, sambung kat sebelah buku surat sebelah, pakai connector. Annotation to represent additional information, comment or explanatory note as clarification. Okay, so ini pun jarang kita pakai. Connector ni pun jarang dah, sebelumnya sampai flow line ni lah yang kita akan pakai. Predefine ni, okay, saya pun tak ada pakai selama saya mengajar program ni. So just leave it be lah. Okay, an example here to design a flow chart. Algorithm of multiplying two numbers. So the first one, you have to get the first number, which is A. Second one, to get the second number, which is B. Calculate result C equivalent to C equivalent to A plus A times B, and then display the result C. So this is the problem. So what you have to do, you have to design the flowchart. You have to start with this oval symbol for start. So the program start here. Okay, and then number 2 and 1 and 2 is to get A and B, which is the first number and second number. So it is using the IO symbol because represent input or output function for data processing. So this trapezium symbol used for input and output. So get A and get B means that you are trying to obtain the first and second number. So you will be using the trapezium symbol. Display user to enter A and B, accepting and store value of A and B. Okay, so to display using pref, to accept using scanf, formatted output, formatted input. And then number 3 to calculate. Calculate is process, so process kita pakai process symbol, the rectangular symbol. So to calculate result, C equivalent to A multiplied with B. Once you have done with the process of calculation, to display the result C, so to display is output. So when you are displaying, you have to use trapezium as well because this is considered as output to display the value of C. Right, and then you goes to the N symbol. Okay, so this is an example of designing your flow chart. So from here, then you create your programs. This will help you a lot. It will reduce your, your planning time up until, I can tell you up until 50% of your planning time lah. Instead of doing it directly. Okay, I give you a question. So design a program, a C programming which requires which will prompt the users to enter 2 numbers and then to display the multiplication of these 2 numbers tadi. Katakan soalan dia macam tu, alright? If you try to create your programs directly from the question, you will be needing a lot of time sebenarnya. Okay, if you are going through this flowchart punya this algorithm punya steps of designing your programs ni, this will help you to reduce your designing time up until 50% lah, I can assure you. Okay, so from the question macam ni, kalau soalan dia macam ni, you buat dulu dia punya flowchart daripada sini, then you convert kepada C program. This will help you to organize your punya development. Okay, dia akan sangat membantu. That is what I can tell you lah. Okay, so this is an example of a flowchart. And then the second method is known as pseudocode. So what is pseudocode? It consists of short English phrases used to explain specific tasks within a program's algorithm. Should not include keywords in any specific computer languages. It should be written as the list of consecutive phrases. And then it should not use any flowcharting symbol as well, but you can draw arrows to show looping process. The indentation can be used to show the logic in pseudocode as well, and one programmer should be able to take another programmer's pseudocode to generate a program based on that pseudocode. Okay, so this is the second method. Dia beritahu dia menggunakan short phrases sahaja, and then you cannot use any syntax of C programs, and then you cannot use any of the flowchart symbol. Cuma arrow sahaja you boleh pakai sekiranya ada loop. Maksudnya patah balik. Okay. So the same problems, algorithm of multiplying 2 numbers, get A, get B, calculate C, display C. So how do you write the pseudocode? This is the solution. Start, read A and B, calculate C equivalent to A times B, print C, and then N. Okay, so this solution of pseudocode and this solution of flowchart are the same thing. Okay, so obviously pseudocode is more simpler, but in terms of engineering, this method is more useful sebenarnya lah. Okay, so I would recommend that we use flowchart punya contoh, flowchart punya method, sorry. Okay, so developing an algorithm. The programming process is a complicated one. So you must first understand the program specifications, then organize your thoughts and create the program. Okay, so that is why dekat sini saya tekankan berkenaan dengan algorithm punya development process ni menggunakan flowchart ataupun pseudocode. You must break the main task that must be accomplished into smaller ones in order to be able to eventually write fully developed code. Writing algorithm will save you time later during the construction and testing phase of a program's development. So dekat sini pun dia ada beritahu what is the advantages of designing your programs by using the algorithm method. Okay, so develop algorithm using flowchart and pseudocode of a program that prompt user to enter their age and display them. So first one, to get the user's age, let's say 8, and then display your age and thank user. So this is the problem. So how do we develop the algorithm using start from user to enter age, and then input read A, which is his age, and then print the user's age and thank the user. Okay, so that is for flowchart punya solution. For pseudocode, start read A, print A, end. Okay.
Simple je pseudocode, Ustaz.
Ya, apa dia?
Yang pseudocode tu simple je.
Pseudocode memang simple. Dia menggunakan short English phrases, sangat pendek-pendek sahaja.
Yang flowchart tadi, Sir, kenapa bahagian age tadi, yang umur tadi, dia letak logo petak, logo rectangle.
Yang mana? Dekat sini?
Ya, kenapa dia letak logo simbol rectangle?
This is a process where you are what we call it, kita nak dapatkan kita punya output dan kita punya input lah, what we are going to do sebenarnya. This is just a process. But where you read the input, dekat sini, read A. So dekat sini dia akan prompt lah, kita punya process is to ask the user to enter his age. Okay, this is where whatever numbers that the users input through the keyboard will be read dekat sini lah. So bila input kita kena dapatkan dekat sini. Okay, so tak ada ini pun tak apa, you delete ni start, lepas tu read A pun boleh, tak ada masalah. It is still correct. Okay, dekat sini saya just nak tunjuk dekat you what are we going to do dekat sini. So dia akan declarekan sebagai proses lah, from user to enter age. Okay,
tadi ada cuba buat tadi, dia letak output aja, tak letak dia punya proses. Lepas tu end lah, letak start with A, end, tu je saya letak. Ada cuba tadi.
Boleh, tak ada masalah. Kalau ini tak ada pun tak apa. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Sir.
Right. Okay, this another one. Develop algorithm using flowchart and pseudocode of testing if the number is 5 or greater, or the number is smaller than 5. So kita nak check nombor tu, nombor 5 ataupun lebih besar daripada 5, ataupun nombor tu lebih kecil daripada 5. So what is the problem? To get a number which is A, test if A is greater or equivalent 5 or lesser than 5. Display the result A stating that the number is greater than 5 or lesser than 5. So this is the flowchart. Start from user to enter a number A. So yang ni tak ada pun tak apa. This one you can tak ada pun tak apa. Just read A. Tapi nanti you tak tahu what is A. So saya letak dekat atas ni. A is for the user to enter a number which will be stored dekat dalam A. Dia akan save dekat dalam A. read A, and then dia akan buat decision. Does A greater or equivalent than 5? If it is yes, it will print A is 5 or greater than 5. If it is no, it will print A is smaller than 5. Then both of this proses ni dia akan pergi ke N. Okay. So dekat sini kita ada decision symbol dekat sini lah. Okay, so that is for flowchart. For pseudocode, start and then we read A, test if A is greater or equivalent to 5 or A is lesser than 5, and then print either one lah. Sama ada this one or this one. And then N. Okay, so kalau kita tengok obviously memang pseudocode is very easy lah nak buat dia, nak tulis. Okay, but in terms of engineering, flowchart is far more usable for you lah. Okay, and I would suggest for us to use flowchart as well. Okay. Then tutorial 2 kita akan continue later. Alright, I think I'll stop here for today. Alright, so for tomorrow we will go back to our slide 17 exercise. Okay, this exercise we will go through and do this together. Exercise 1, exercise 2, tutorial 1 as well as tutorial 2 tadi itulah. Okay, kita akan cuba buat ni tomorrow. So for the rest of today's session, what I need you to do is for you to download the software and install them to your computer. Not here lah, I think on the first, on the introduction tadi. Okay, so sekejap lagi saya akan endkan session, but I need you guys to go to this link here, download it and then install it to your personal computer. Okay, ataupun laptop lah, install for our class tomorrow. So tomorrow morning 8 pagi kita dah start terus buat example 1 tadi, exercise 1. So jangan esok baru install, please install them today. So esok kita dah start buat program dah. Kita dah tengok sikit-sikit je. After this kita akan tengok sikit je berkaitan dengan teori part. We will be doing a lot of program punya exercises lah. Okay, so please go to this link here. I'll share it in our WhatsApp group here. Okay, I'll share it here. So please go to this link and download it lah. Okay, so before we start our class tomorrow, do it today lah. Maksudnya buat hari ni. Esok tak nak esok kelas pukul 8 esok baru you nak install and then you will be ketinggalan lah. You akan ketinggalan nanti. Mana tadi? Okay, so I'll be opening up okay, for the QR attendance. So please everyone try to scan this QR code for your attendance for today's class.
Tak boleh scan lah.
Okay, for those who can't scan, tunggu sekejap. Nanti kita buat secara manual. Okay. For those yang can scan dulu.
link.
Apa dia?
Link.
Ha?
Guna unit KL link, jangan guna kamera.
Assalamualaikum sir.
Ya. Salam.
Yang apa tadi, yang link tadi bukan sir dah hantar by email lah?
Link apa tu ya?
Link software tadi. DEVC++.
Saya tak ingat lah, saya dah hantar tulis email, ada ke?
Ada.
Saya dah hantar. Saya dah download lah.
Dah download dah.
Okay. For those yang dah download tu okey lah. Saya kalau tak silap, okey. Sekejap saya dah scan ke ni? Semua dah scan. Yang tak boleh scan stay sekejap. Saya exit dulu. Okay, in our ni, okay, dalam ni announcement, sorry, betul lah saya dah buat hari tu. On our VLE here, on top of your VLE for this subject, ada announcement sini, saya ada share software punya link. So you can find it here, either here ataupun yang saya share dekat dalam WhatsApp tadi lah. Okay, so you can find it from here or from the link yang saya share tadi. So get that version, get this version, because this version, Dev C++ 5.11 ni adalah version yang saya pakai dan tak ada problem. Saya takut version yang baru tu dia ada problem, nanti tak boleh nak execute. Okay, so download it. Yang mana dah download dan install, okay. Yang belum, please do it by today lah, sebab tomorrow kita akan start buat program lah. Okay, so 23, anyone yang tak boleh nak scan tadi, bagi nama? Siapa? Ada siapa-siapa yang tak boleh scan?
Muhammad Afiq bin
Muhammad
Johari.
Anis Amir, sir.
Anis Amir, okay. Muhammad apa tadi?
Afiq bin Johari.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Muhammad Amirul Khan.
Muhammad Amirul Khan.
Muhammad
okay.
Amirul.
Okay, and then yang tak ada ni Hirzan. Hirzan ada? Tak ada.
Hirzan daripada
Saya.
Oh, ada.
Tak, Hirzan ada? Hirzan. Tak ada Francine?
Ada, saya ada.
Ada, alright. So, ada dua orang tak datang, kan seorang ke?
Hirzan daripada daripada kita orang minggu orientasi memang dia tak ada.
Oh, okay. Might be that he'll be coming a bit late lah. Okay, so one is absent, it is okay. Alright, and then for today's session ni, I did record my, every time lah, setiap kali kelas saya akan record saya punya lecture or tutorials or whatever that we'll be doing lah. And then once we ended our class, I will upload them to I normally upload them into my YouTube channel, and then later on I will share with you guys here. Saya akan share dekat video teaching ni, saya akan letak lah lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3. So you can refer back to that video for example for today's one, for today's punya lecture tadi ni yang saya tengah record ni. Once saya dah upload, saya akan share dekat sini untuk you refer balik lah. Okay, so nanti saya akan inform you all. Okay, I think that's it from me for today. If you sir, boleh share dekat sini tak? WhatsApp tak boleh guna. Oh, link tadi ke? Allah, besar ni. Sorry lah. Okay, so saya ada share dekat sini, ataupun you boleh tengok dekat VLE pun ada, dekat WhatsApp pun ada. Okay, so do you guys have any question? Ada siapa-siapa ada soalan? Okay, so I'm assuming there are no questions lah, baru our first class kan. Nanti dah start buat, nanti baru ada banyak question nanti. Okay, so tomorrow morning saya akan on our session here at 8 in the morning. I will be waiting up until 8:10 lah. Saya bagi masa 10 minit, and then start 8:10 I will start my class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think I'll stop here. Inshallah I'll see you tomorrow morning. Please, for those who haven't installed your Dev C, please install it to your computer. Alright, thank you guys. Assalamualaikum and good
Okay.
afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
sir.
Thank
Okay.
you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Salam.